What's up, guys? On today's video, I want to give you a couple tips on if you're just getting started in surplus funds and overages. These are things that you should consider before you even jump into this business using this strategy, whatever it is, okay? These are things that I wish I had done prior to me getting started in this business. There's a whole list that I could create, but these are just a couple high level points that I want to go over with you guys. I think it'll help you. And the way that it will help you is when you're able to go into something new and you know what it is that you're working for, that is going to help you remember why you're doing what you're doing. And the reason that's important is when things get hard and difficult, which they will, knowing why you're doing what you're doing is going to help you get through those difficult times. Okay. And so these are just a couple bullet points that I came up with. And that's why I think they are important, is because when times get tough, they'll keep you from quitting too early. They'll keep you from stopping when you're 3 feet from gold. Okay. So if you're just starting in the business, here are some things that you should consider. You should be looking at a couple bullet points. Yes. Okay. Number one is figure out your goal, your objective. What is the end state that you want to reach? What do you specifically want to accomplish by doing this business or by executing this strategy? That's very important. So for me, mine was, in the beginning, it was just to make extra money. And then it gradually changed over time to where I saw this business as a pathway for me to leave my job as a corrections officer. And so my objective was to use this strategy to replace my income as a corrections officer. Okay. It didn't start out that way. It morphed into that as time went on, but that ultimately is what became my goal. And I was able to achieve that goal. But had I not had that objective up front, I don't think I would still be in this business, to be honest with you. So it's very, very important that you create a very specific objective, a very specific target, a reason why you want to do this business. Making extra money, although that is a fine and dandy reason, it's not, I would argue that it's not specific enough. How much money do you want to make? So for me, I had to make over 40,000 a year in this business in order to replace my income, right? I didn't know if it was possible, but I was able to prove that it was possible. In fact, the year after I quit my job, if you haven't seen the YouTube video, I actually show you my tax return of how much I made my first year full-time in the business. Okay. I started out part-time in 2015, went full-time in 2017. In 2018, I made over $100,000. Prior to that, the most I'd ever made was 40 something thousand as a corrections officer. But going back to the point, have a very clear and specific target, a very clear and specific objective. If it's money related, say, okay, I want to be able to make 100K a year, 200K a year, whatever it is for you, be specific. Or maybe it's time related. Maybe you just say, hey, I want to be able to work this business 5 hours a week and make an extra 20K a year or something like that. It doesn't have to be a full time, right? You don't have to work this full time to achieve your goal, depending on what your goal is. Okay. And then once you determine what it is you want, ask yourself, well, why do I want that? Why do you want whatever it is that you're pursuing? Why do you want to make 100K a year? What are you going to do if you make 100K a year? For me, well, my why was, well, I don't want to work 12-hour graveyard shifts anymore. I don't want to commute in rush hour traffic anymore. I don't want to have to ask somebody permission to go on a vacation. Those were my whys of why I wanted to leave my job at the Department of Corrections. Those were my whys, okay? Ask yourself how much you want to make. And then ask yourself, how much time are you willing to dedicate to achieving your outcome? How much, and I guess these last two are kind of the same thing. Determine how much time you're willing to invest and how much money you're willing to invest in order to achieve your goal. So this is basically determining your cost up front. And what that means is you need to determine and ask yourself, what is the price I'm willing to pay in order to achieve what I want? In order to achieve my goal, what am I willing to give up? What am I willing to sacrifice? What am I willing to invest in order for me to make it to that goal? And that's determining your cost up front. And that's important too, right? Because that way, once you hit a certain point, you can reevaluate and say, okay, are things working out for me? Or am I going to give up on this? Now, obviously, I don't advise giving up, but maybe you have to at some point. For me, my cost was high. I was willing to give up a lot in order to achieve my goal. And it wasn't just something that I put down on paper. It was something I actually had to do. When I left the Department of Corrections, I think I was 27, 28. Let's see, 2021. How old am I now? Yeah, about 27 years old. So 27, newly married, had our house, our first house. And we decided, hey, we're going to give up this house. We're going to sell it. We're going to go move into the basement of the in-laws, and we're going to see if this whole business thing works. Some people aren't willing to sacrifice that much. Those that are, the more you're willing to sacrifice and the more you're willing to invest, the greater the likelihood that you will achieve your goal. And that's just the bottom line. That's just reality, right? And that's with anything. If somebody wants to lose 20 pounds, but they say, I'll only invest an hour a week for 3 months. Well, that's probably not going to cut it, right? Versus someone that says, I will invest an hour a day for 12 months. Who's more likely to achieve their goal? The person that's willing to invest an hour a week for 3 months, or the person that's willing to invest an hour a day for 12? It's just math, right? He that is willing to invest more of their time, energy, focus is more likely to achieve their goal than someone that's not willing. And that's just the bottom line. So, but also it's important to determine your cost up front, because at the end of the day, there are things that you don't want to sacrifice certain things in the pursuit of a goal. Obviously, you don't want to probably sacrifice your marriage in the pursuit of a business goal or a financial goal. I would not recommend that at all. You don't want to sacrifice the relationships with your children. You don't want to sacrifice your health in order to pursue success in business or in money or financial success. I would not advocate for any of those things. And so that's why this is important, is determine your cost up front. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. So yeah, I hope that helps you. It's just important because most important is knowing why you're doing what you're doing. Like, why are you getting into this business? Why are you even entertaining the idea of exploring this niche in real estate? Like, why? That's very important. And why do you want to achieve what it is you want to achieve? And why do you see this as the path to get there? Because when you know your why, when you know why you are cold calling, or why you are investing money into this business, or why you are purchasing, education or coaching, when you know the why, you can maintain your efforts in pursuit of your goal, especially when things get hard and difficult, because they will. Whenever you start something new, it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. You're going to feel dumb. You're going to feel embarrassed. You're going to feel frustrated. That's just part of the game. But if you don't know why you're doing it, then when that frustration comes, you are more likely to quit. And then when you quit, you guarantee your failure. And you guarantee that the goal that you originally set out to pursue will never become a reality. And you don't want that. Nobody wants that. But it happens all the time. So those are just some tips for you. Once you've gone through these basic things, then you can move on to the next step, which is, okay, this is the path I'm going to pursue. Then at that point, you need to figure out a system or learn a system that's been proven, that you know already works because it's worked for other people. And then you need to learn that system and follow the system. But that's after you answer these questions that I've presented to you is, well, what are you trying to accomplish? Why are you trying to accomplish that? And what are you willing to do in order to accomplish that? And that's it. All right, guys, have a great day. Appreciate you watching. If you find any value in these, please like, share them with your friends and family, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.